episode of my Saab Garage. It's nice to see you again. Today I have João. João is the person that owns the Mudless team, the company that end up to do the car detail to the Saab 93. As you guys know, the car was already in another paint shop, and was the situation that I talked in the previous publications that I put on the site. The car was there to make the correction on the paint, but they called me in about the second day saying that they need more days in order to finish the car. I end up to know that they never start work on the car, so I was a little bit sad, and I end up to take the car out of there. I was a little bit disappointed because, as you guys know, you see how was the condition of the car, and I end up to talk with a colleague of mine that lives nearby, and he has a shop as well online called Car Detail. At this moment I want to thank Marco because he received the car, and he trying to know if with some products we were able to take the limestone marks out of the car. That wasn't possible, and therefore we came out of the store, and I asked Marco, like, do you know anyone that can do this kind of jobs? He said no at the time, but then later on he gave me a call and saying, I know someone, I know João, go and talk with him, see what he can do, and we came over here. So, as you can see, the Saab is done, is complete. Matter of fact, was done yesterday, but we decided to take the car out of the shop today. It was almost raining as well, so we want to take good pictures. Pictures and videos will follow after a small interview that I will do with João, but then you can see the full work that João did on this car. For me, it's like I have a brand new car now. Really, the impression that he gave me, as you know, the Saab, I bought the Saab with a very low mileage, but after what João did on the outside of the car, it seems really that for me was, I have a new car. I have a new car, and João, thank you so much for the work that you've done. So, João is Portuguese, so I will do the interview with João. You're going to see talk in Portuguese, but then I will translate the answers that João will give to you guys. Okay, so the first question that I will make to João is on his perspective, what he saw when he received the car. João, qual foi a tua perspectiva que tu tiveste quando tu viste o carro pela primeira vez?
Bem, Dário, desde já, obrigado pela confiança que fizeste nos nossos serviços, de nos trazeres o carro, nos trazeres aqui a tua máquina, para a gente podermos cuidar, fazermos um restauro, um detail na pintura como tu querias e desejavas. Respondendo à tua pergunta, quando o carro nos chegou aqui, trazia algumas marcas e danos na pintura. Fizemos uma correção de pintura em duas fases. A primeira fase, onde foi uma fase mais invasiva, onde fizemos a remoção quase total de todos os riscos, marcas, swirls, aquele efeito teia de aranha que eu tentei mostrar no vídeo e nas fotos. Tentámos remover isso e foi feito. A segunda parte foi uma parte mais de refino, de acabamento, onde tentámos fazer ao máximo toda a parte do espelhamento do carro, toda a parte de puxarmos ao máximo o brilho, o lustro, aquele efeito de espelho no carro que tanto era desejado e por ti, e que a gente queríamos deixar o carro assim.
Okay, so João was first of all thank my Saab Garage at this time, and thanking me in order for him to be able to do and perform the work on the car. So João also told that the project of this car was done in two phases. The first phase was a more detailed, or was a process to remove all the kind of the little dust and everything that was on the painting, to remove the biggest part on the car, and then it comes to a second part that was a fine in order to polish, and also he went and he tried to do his best in order to give this shiny look, the mirror effect that you will see in the pictures. So these were the two kind of situations. Also, João was saying that the car, when he received the car, in fact was in a bad situation in terms of the painting, and was a little bit full with limestone marks, and the paint itself was not in good conditions. João, essas marcas de calcário poderiam ter sido derivadas do quê? O que é que levou isso a acontecer?
Temos vários motivos, várias causas que poderão originar este tipo de problema. No teu caso e no caso do teu carro, do Saab, foi o uso excessivo e prolongado de águas impróprias. Ou seja, uma água mais contaminada, mais rica em partículas de ferro, de calcário, que são águas que não são de todo o mais desejadas para fazermos uma manutenção e uma lavagem nos nossos carros.
Okay. The second question that I made to João was that these marks of limestone could be caused by what? And in that he's saying that sometimes this kind of marks can happen on the car as people sometimes wash the cars from the well or use waters that are not filtered. So sometimes can show up like the water itself can have high levels of limestone or iron that sometimes will cause this damage to the car on the long term. So if you don't wash the car or sometimes you grab like water from a well or you use a water that is not proper, that can cause that the situation that the car was, as you saw in the pictures, were full with marks for the entire car. So the entire car was on this condition. Normalmente quando tu recebes no carro, quais são os processos que o carro chega, quais são os processos que tu fazes ao carro?
Normalmente ao recebermos um carro, nós gostamos sempre de fazer um processo de avaliação. A nossa primeira instância é sempre fazer uma pré-lavagem. Com essa pré-lavagem podemos fazer qualquer despiste e remoção de partículas de gordura, de pós, de contaminações, até mesmo antigos selantes e ceras que possam ter sido aplicados no carro. Ao fazermos uma pré-lavagem, o carro fica completamente descontaminado e aí sim podemos garantir que trabalhamos com mais confiança, com mais exatidão, porque o carro está efetivamente descontaminado.
Ok, uma pré-lavagem e depois a seguir a lavagem e depois então a seguir a parte da aplicação.
O processo sim de correção, digamos, em si da pintura, nos dois passos, como tínhamos falado, depois disso então esse processo.
Ok. Third question that I made to João was that how is the process, which are the steps as soon as he receives the car? João was telling that each time that he receives a car, a project, he likes to first to receive the car and make an evaluation on the car to see what it needs. The first step, usually what he does, is like a pre-wash that they do to the car in order to decontaminate the painting on the car and to remove anything that the car might have. Dust, sometimes, or even pre-waxes that the car had. So this kind of on the pre-wash, he removes anything and then he starts the process when the car is completely decontaminated, and he will start from there. Then you have the process after you wash the car, a completely dry of the car, of course, and then he will start the process with all the buffers and all the equipment that he has in order to start to correct the car, as well as special products that he will start to use when you use this kind of equipment. Que normalmente que produtos ou máquinas são usados para fazer este tipo de trabalho?
Dando-te um exemplo, Dário, neste tipo de trabalho utilizamos para a descontaminação química, a primeira fase, a primeira parte, quando recebemos o carro com uma pré-lavagem, utilizamos um produto de descontaminação química da CarPro, utilizamos o Spotless, que nos ajudou a fazer uma eliminação, uma grande ajuda no processo de remoção daquelas tais manchas calcárias e ferrosas que a gente tinha dispersas pelo carro. Depois, no processo de correção, utilizámos uma máquina simples, uma polidora rotativa, utilizámos compostos de polimento ou massas de polir da marca Manzerna, utilizámos as 4 massas que eles dispõem no mercado, os 4 compostos polidores, para o carro ficar assim com este aspecto brilhante e espetacular como ele ficou.
Okay, so the question was which kind of products or machinery João uses in order to obtain the look that the car has now. João was saying that after the wash also is done with very specified details that also will take all the grease, all the particles of iron or even dust that the car has. So he works with a company called Car Pro that also gives this first impact to the car in order to decontaminate the car. Then he also said that he works with some buffers and also works with a company called Menserve, that is the products that he used for the buffer, and he used the full range of this company in order to start to give the looks and this kind of looks and the situation that he has. Also, something that I know that João also mentioned is that even on the product, so simple as even to dry the car, he used a cloth that doesn't have any kind of marks. So as you see, the detail is not only coming and do it, you have some very small details in the back that you will take to this in order to give the shiny look that the car has. Nós vimos que no vídeo tu usas os dois tipos de luz, uma clara e uma mais amarela. Quais as diferenças entre as luzes?
É simples, Dário. As duas luzes que eu utilizei no processo no teu carro são apenas luzes para me auxiliar e facilitar o meu trabalho. A luz branca dá-me um espectro de luz mais clara, mais fria. A luz quente, um espectro de luz mais amarela, mais quente. Digamos que assim posso simular, digamos, uma luz para o dia, uma luz mais clara, e uma luz para a noite, uma luz mais amarela, e facilita-me no processo de correção. Consigo distinguir mais facilmente com os dois espectros diferentes o que ainda tenho no carro e o que ainda há para corrigir ou não corrigir.
Okay. Next question was that we saw in the previous video that João was using at the time that he was correcting the car. He used two lights, one white light and one yellow light. And I asked João what were the difference between them. The answer of João was that those two lights help him in order to correct any detail or minimum detail that the car might have. Usually, according to what João was saying, the white light gives a big spectrum and works like a daylight, so we can see the way that the light reflects on the car and is more or less like if it was in a day environment. The yellow light is more to reflect and more to give him the impression how is the night effect. So sometimes, as you see at night when the light, and sometimes in the car we see this, the way that the daylight hits in the car and the way that the night light hits the car makes the difference, and also this will help him to correct and see until where he can go in order to correct, or if there is no need to correct, nothing. So, but this is more or less why you use the two difference on the two colors. A nível de motor, nós vimos que passavas um produto à pistola no carro, e quais são as etapas de lavagem que tu fazes e que produto é este? Faz mal ao motor, não faz mal ao motor? Por aí.
Bem, na limpeza e manutenção que fizemos no motor do teu carro, começámos por fazer uma lavagem a vapor, utilizando assim o menos de água possível, não, garantindo que não ferimos, que não podemos com isto mais tarde vir a ter problemas mecânicos e elétricos no carro. Quanto ao acabamento, aquele aspecto que tu viste a ser aplicado à pistola, utilizámos um verniz de motor da Vonix. É um verniz próprio, como o próprio nome diz, para os motores. Acaba por não dar o aspecto de vitrificado, de aquele brilho mesmo como um verniz convencional, como numa pintura. Não, é apenas digamos que faz um efeito de brilho, preserva tudo que seja borrachas no interior do teu carro, tudo que seja tubagens, preserva também tudo que seja a envolvência do cofre do motor em si, ele preserva e garantem que não tem qualquer tipo de problema, tanto na parte elétrica como na parte mecânica do carro. Também a Vonix garante que ao ser aplicado este tratamento, este produto nos confere uma proteção até 6 meses do motor do cofre do teu carro.
Okay. So next question was on the engine bay. So I asked João. We saw that on the video he will pass with a air gun. He will pass around the engine bay and he's putting a product on the engine bay. I asked João what kind of product was this, if would harm the engine in any kind of shape of way. João was starting to tell me that he started to wash the engine on a water steam. So in order to make sure that there is the minimum of water possible in the engine bay, and after the engine is dry, then he applies a product of the brand market
Vonix.
Vonix. So this is a special product from the brand Vonix that is specific to apply on the engine bays. According with João, this product protects all the rubbers on the engine bay, will protect all the electric equipment on the engine bay, and will not cause any damage. Also will hydrate the plastics and also the pipes and everything that is inside of the engine bay. And according with João, he says that according with the brand, they give a kind of warranty for the 6 months that will give this kind of protection on the engine bay. Okay, João, so for the last question, I would like to know, for those that are listening to us, how much can cost a work of this. So, João, para quem nos está a ouvir, quanto é que pode custar um trabalho destes? Qual é o número de horas que isto pode ter?
Olha, Dário, cada caso é um caso. O número de horas vai sempre depender do tipo de intervenção, do tipo de trabalho que vamos realizar no carro. Poderá sempre variar de 2, 3 dias de trabalho a uma semana ou mais. Tudo poderá ainda influenciar, adicionar-nos mais tempo, se no final da correção do processo que nós fizemos de remoção dos riscos, dando o exemplo como foi o Dr. Saab, se quiséssemos fazer uma aplicação cerâmica de outro tipo de proteção posterior a isso envolvia mais tempo. Cada caso é um caso. Não gosto de todo de criar uma tabela com preços estipulados do trabalho. Gosto sempre de fazer uma pré-avaliação e reunir com o cliente, dizer quais são os tipos de trabalho que podemos prestar, que tipos de intervenção podemos fazer, qual é a viabilidade, se há ou não viabilidade, porque em muitos dos casos não há viabilidade de fazermos o tipo de intervenção que o cliente tem em mente. Tudo isso são fatores que influenciam no tempo, e para dar uma estimativa de tempo e dia, essa será a minha resposta mais completa. Em relação a valores, os valores podem variar muito mediante o que eu te disse de tempo, produtos utilizados, mas estão compreendidos entre os 250 e os 500 euros, dependentemente do tipo de trabalho que estamos a fazer.
Okay, so as we talked before, the last question was, for those that listen to us, how much can cost a work like this done in the car? According with João doesn't want to put this like in a table, saying this will cost X right from the start. He needs first to assess the car, he needs to evaluate the car, because like João was saying, that sometimes even is not feasible in order for you to make a car detail. Some situations even needs to be the car to be painted, if that comes to the situation, or a section on the car needs to be painted. So João always like to assess the car, see what needs to be done. He also says that sometimes this can take somewhere between 2-3 a week. So 2 or 3 days to a week sometimes can happen during these time frames. Regarding to values, he's saying depends, because also depends on the detail that you want to do, what products you want to do as a finish, if you want to apply anything more to the car. So he will not put tables, but he also can say that somewhere this can cost between 250 to 500 euros, depends on he wants to spend. Okay, João, thank you so much for this work done. Really, it was a pleasure. Again, just you will have some new updates also from Madela's team for the Saab 95 as well. You will see those in a near video as well. We will tell you good news in the future. This is the way that the car looks in the back. Again, in the end of the video we will put the videos and we will put the pictures, how was the car. Just continue and we will see you guys on the next time. Have a nice week. We will continue. See you then. Bye.